about my love? Wasn't it enough? Just let me know.
Michigan commit quarterback Brady Hart has had some words to say about Ohio State. Wasn't directly, but it was very indirectly.
It was a shot in the It was an obvious shot at Ohio State.
So what he had said was, when I walked out of Ohio State on this visit, I realized the culture that Michigan has isn't everywhere, he said. Ooh. Woo. Couple things here. And Hayden, I'll let you cook. Couple things here. You got some big shoes to fill, first of all. From what, just not only, you got to think this is Tom Brady's college. J.J. McCarthy just won a national championship. The winningest team in college football history as far as winning percentage. Blah, 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 blah. And you're already doing this type of stuff. Now, in the culture that we have, and I don't know why his parents or anybody didn't tell him this, the culture that we have with the transfer portal and things like that, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because other teams that are not named Ohio State are going to look at this and just say, oh, I thought it was all nice and dandy at Michigan. Why you want to transfer? I thought they weren't like everything else. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. And then you're about 4 or 5 quarterbacks deep right now at Michigan. Alex Orji, who is going to probably be the starter out there in Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, before he left, had nothing but great things to say about Alex Orji. He thinks that he's the future of their program. Then you have, we just talked about somebody that passed away from cancer, but Davis Warren did have cancer, and he was a former walk-on. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have the mindset that he's coming for everybody right now. Jaden Donegal, everybody's saying that this dude has NFL quarterback talent. He's sitting there in that quarterback room. Jaden Davis, he's the freshman 4-star recruit who's been compared to DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. And then you have Jack Tuttle, who is a transfer with a wealth of experience in the Big Ten that is in that quarterback room. So you're 5 quarterbacks deep, and you got a lot of big things to say. I'm just saying, you're a 4-star recruit on your own, man. I mean, you're going in a quarterback room full of killers right now that have nothing but so much to prove, and they're going to be scratching and clawing trying to get to that number 1 spot. And guess what you're going to happen if you're on that roster right now? You're going to the number 6 spot. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be taking the shots that you're taking, because you never know, man. 6 quarterbacks deep. Half of these guys might be transferring out next year. You have no idea, because there's not enough room to grow, and you want to go start, and you might take your chance in another school. And there have been schools that have turned down people's transfer requests because of things that they have said in the past. So you're kind of walking on the eggshells, and the schools are not going to come out and say it. But if I was your coach and I was at Ohio State and we needed a quarterback, your name entered in the transfer portal and wanted to come to Ohio State, you ain't coming to Ohio State, because I'll throw it right back in your face. I thought we weren't like Michigan. Might want to go try your hand somewhere else. Hayden, what you think, man?
So he is shooting himself in the foot for the future, because it's going to be, he has to make this work, because he's ruined, like you mentioned, he's ruined opportunities in the transfer portal. He just ruined it with Ohio State right then and there, who, if they believed in you, they would give you a shot, because they are a team that wants to win now. And if you show promise, but you're frustrated with Michigan, Ohio State's a team that will gladly come in and scoop you up. But guess what? You just ruined that. But I want to go in more to the side about the cultural winning. Now, we all know it's one of the biggest rivalries in college football today, Michigan versus Ohio State. So, for those who do not know, Michigan currently leads that rivalry with a record of 61-51-6, and currently have a 3-game win streak on Ohio State and Ryan Day. But what people don't mention about that is, before that, Ohio State had around 7 wins. A 7-win streak on Michigan as well, that people don't talk about, and how Jim Harbaugh was in Ryan Day's shoes when that was happening, and I was seeing reports of him being talked about is, can he get over Ohio State? If he can't, does Michigan move on? Which they would have never, probably. But overall, though, people forget that Ryan Day and Ohio State looked like they were always going to beat Michigan. And then Jim Harbaugh made some adjustments that helped them get the current 3-game streak on them and make Ryan Day's record 1-3 versus Michigan. Now, I want to say this, too, about the winning culture. People forget Ohio State under Ryan Day have been to the playoffs twice, been to the national championship once, with Justin Fields, was a field goal away from going to the national championship with C.J. Stroud, which people don't talk about, how that Ohio State offense made Georgia's defense look not as good as they were that year. They exposed some spots of Georgia's defense in that 2022 playoffs. That was a great game. I'm so glad because they kicked it in 2022 and it missed in 2023. It was beautiful. But either way, people forget Ohio State is a culture that is about winning. And that's where I disagree with him. Now, to be fair, he did go to the locker room. He did experience it. I have not. I want to get that clear. But from the outside, looking on the outside, besides Ryan Day, he wants to win. Ohio State wants to win. It's just that they lost C.J. Stroud a couple years ago, and then they were going to take a step back offensively when he left for the draft in 2023.
Let me tell you something, and Don, I'm gonna let you cook, but facilities and all that stuff at the end of the day don't really matter, because if that was the case, then Texas A&M would be the best team in the country every single year, and they've been known to have the most technically savvy, best, most beautiful everything. And they spend so much money on their facilities to get recruiting, and we've seen the past recruiting classes. And shout out to my boy Jimbo Fisher for totally destroying that program. You shouldn't have never left Florida State in the way that you left us. But Texas A&M has been known to have the best facilities in the country. Are they a number one team? So just watch what you say, because at the end of the day, that stuff don't matter and nobody really cares. That's just to get you in the building and to make you feel comfortable at the end of the day. And the guys that really commit and really have really good careers are very fond of their coaches and their teammates, and fond most of all of winning games and wanting to be the best that they can be for their team. So that's what I'll say about that. So you can say all you want about the culture and everything, but you ain't really been in those four walls during those meetings anyways to even know what the culture is going to be like. So it's kind of naive to go in there from a 1 or 2 day visit and be like, oh, I love their culture so much better. Well, Ryan Day's been Michigan's daddy up until the last 2 years, so it just is what it is. And I'm not the biggest Ryan Day fan. So, but Don, go ahead. Go ahead. And
one more thing before Don goes. He's not there during game days. He's not there during the weeks for prepping. So how does he know? But go ahead, Don. Yeah. Just wanted to get that off.
That's all right. So I kind of agree with what you guys have been saying. Might not have been the smartest thing for Brady Hart to come off with this comment. Granted, Michigan has been a winning organization for years. But the most recent national championship win, I mean, it just happened, so it's fresh in your mind. And not to take necessarily a huge dig, but younger people, what have you done for me lately? They have it fresh on the mind that, oh, they just won. I want to go there. They just won. The part that he added after was the ability to win is a huge thing for me. And the ability to win at a high level and compete for a national championship every year is huge. I can't wait to be a part of it. Sorry, Mr. Hart, but they do not compete for the national championship every year. They try, but they are not at that level every year.
No.
This is a very recent event, and you're making it sound much bigger of a deal than it is. 100%. And Yeah, it's
No.
it's what it is. I mean, I'm not surprised that somebody was going to come out with a comment like that, but wow, he's got some growing to do.
And
Put it like this. Here's the thing. You can talk about that winning culture and everything that you want to say, but how well has Stanford been doing? And I hate to make the comparison between these two guys, but how well has Stanford been doing in college football in, let's say, the last 12 years? And the reason why I say the last like 12, 13 years is because they were 11-3, 8-5, 12-2, 10-3, 9-5, 9-4, 4-8, 4-2, 3-9, 3-9, and 3-9. So they've gotten progressively worse after David Shaw had left. So coaching does matter. And also, the last time they had a one-loss season was, guess who was there as their quarterback?
Andrew Luck. A real generational player right there.
I'm just saying. So you're going to start saying about a winning culture and things like that. You got to understand it really comes down to how you are with your teammates, how the coaching is. There's a lot of factors into winning. It's not just the culture and the facilities, because Andrew Luck had a lot to do with how much success they had. Christian McCaffrey, even after he left, had a lot to do with how the success that Stanford had. You look at the last 3 seasons, and they're a 3-win team. So just choose your words carefully, Persian, for they may be your last. In the words of King Leonidas.
There you go.
Anything else we want to say about Brady Hart, man? Don't wish anything bad on the kid. We know he's
not at all.
Kid. No. But again, you're about to go into an environment now where you are considered a professional athlete. When it comes to money, you're a professional athlete now. It just is what it is. There's you're going into your first job, basically. If you already haven't had one, working at a grocery store, being a bagger or whatever, you're going into your first professional job. So some of the things that you say, this is why we always give 2-week notices before we leave, because in the case that I might need to come back, I need to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that I was copacetic with the job, just in case I need to come back.
You want to return on good.
Don't burn your bridges. Don't ever burn your bridges, man, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. And this, you might be Ohio State's next quarterback in a different timeline, but now if Ryan Day's the coach there, he's going to remember this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You said their culture was better, and they're our biggest rivals. It's a competition, man.